A dolphin knows its own name, and it gave that name to itself. Fact number 1. Dolphins invent their own unique names. In the wild, every single bottlenose dolphin creates a completely unique whistle pattern within the first few months of life. Scientists at the University of St. Andrews, publishing in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B in 2013, confirmed that these are not just random sounds, they are individual identity signatures. Think of them as self-assigned names. But here is where it gets even wilder. Other dolphins in the pod memorize these signature whistles and use them to call specific individuals. They are literally calling each other by name across open ocean. Researchers recorded pods using the signature whistles of dolphins that were not even present, essentially talking about a third party who was absent. No other non-human animal has been documented doing this with the same specificity and intent. The signature whistle persists across a dolphin's entire lifetime, sometimes spanning 40 to 60 years. So the name a dolphin invents as a calf in 1985 is the same name it answers to in 2025. Visual note: display an animated waveform diagram comparing signature whistles side by side, labeled with color-coded individual dolphin identities. Use a clean infographic style. Fact number 2. Dolphins pass the mirror self-recognition test. Here is a benchmark that separates cognitively elite animals from the rest: the mirror self-recognition test. It works like this: the researchers place a mark on an animal's body in a spot they cannot see without a mirror, then present a mirror and observe whether the animal investigates the mark on itself, proving it understands the reflection is its own body. Chimpanzees pass. Orangutans pass. Elephants pass. Magpies pass. And bottlenose dolphins pass, confirmed in a landmark 2001 study by Diana Rice at Columbia University and Lori Marino, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Dolphins as young as 7 months old, well before the age typically required in chimp studies, showed signs of self-directed behavior in front of mirrors. Out of the entire animal kingdom, millions of species, fewer than 10 have ever passed this test under controlled scientific conditions. Dolphins are on that elite list. Visual note: use a clean comparison infographic showing the 5 confirmed mirror test passing species with icons and checkmarks, no graphic footage. Fact number 3. Dolphins sleep with half their brain turned off. If you fell asleep right now with only half your brain, the other half would notice, and so would everyone around you. Dolphins do exactly that every single night. The process is called unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, and it allows one cerebral hemisphere to enter a deep sleep state while the other remains fully conscious. During this time, one eye stays open, the eye connected to the awake hemisphere, monitoring the environment for predators and navigating to the surface to breathe. This is not a metaphor. Electroencephalogram recordings, EEG studies conducted by researchers, including those at the Pavlov Institute of Physiology in Russia as early as the 1960s and confirmed repeatedly since, show unmistakable slow-wave sleep patterns isolated to one hemisphere at a time. What makes it even more extraordinary is that dolphins voluntarily switch hemispheres mid-rest, alternating which side sleeps, the way you might switch which side of the bed you use. No alarm clock. No snooze button. Just a brain so advanced it runs a biological shift system to keep the animal alive while unconscious. Visual note: display a color-coded brain hemisphere diagram with animated sleep-wake state labels switching sides. Use a textbook illustration style. Fact number 4. Dolphins use tools and teach other dolphins how. For decades, tool use was considered a defining marker of human superiority. Then we discovered chimpanzees using sticks to fish for termites. And then, in Shark Bay, Western Australia, in the 1980s, marine biologist Ava Smoker and colleagues documented bottlenose dolphins doing something nobody expected. They were tearing off marine sponges from the seafloor and wearing them on their rostrums, their beaks, like gloves, to probe the sandy bottom for buried fish without injuring themselves on sharp rocks and debris. This behavior is called sponging, and research published in Animal Behavior confirmed by 2005 that it is culturally transmitted. Mothers teach daughters. The skill is passed down through generations, not through genetics, but through active learned instruction. In one studied population, over 40% of females practiced sponging, compared to fewer than 1% of males, suggesting deliberate, selective knowledge transfer. That is not instinct. That is culture. That is school. Visual note: use an animated diagram illustrating the sponging technique with labeled anatomy of the rostrum and a seafloor cross-section, infographic style only. Fact number 5. Dolphins have a signature sense that humans literally cannot imagine. Echolocation. You have heard the word. You probably think you understand it. You do not at the scale dolphins operate. A bottlenose dolphin produces clicks in the melon, a specialized fatty organ in the forehead, at a rate of up to 700 clicks per second. These sound pulses bounce off objects and return to the dolphin, not through its ears, but through its lower jaw, which is filled with acoustic fat that channels vibrations directly to the inner ear. The resolution is extraordinary. Studies published in the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America demonstrated that dolphins can detect a steel sphere the size of a ping-pong ball from 70 meters away, roughly the length of 2 Olympic swimming pools, through murky water with zero visibility. They can discriminate between objects differing by just 1 millimeter in thickness. And here is the detail that rewires your brain. Dolphins can project this echolocation beam with surgical precision and actually vary its width, narrowing it to a tight cone to examine a specific target or widening it to sweep a broad area. It is an active, controllable, biological sonar system more precise than most human-engineered sonar technology used in submarines. Visual note: display a labeled diagram of dolphin echolocation anatomy with animated sound wave fan beams and a range-scale infographic, academic illustration style. Fact number 6. Dolphins deliberately get high and share the experience. In 2013, a BBC documentary produced by filmmaker John Downer captured footage of young dolphins in the Indian Ocean doing something that stunned marine biologists worldwide. The dolphins were carefully passing a puffer fish between them, handling it just enough to provoke the fish into releasing tetrodotoxin, a powerful neurotoxin, in small doses into the water. Then they floated near the surface in a dazed, trance-like state for minutes at a time. Marine biologist Mark Darrell Strickler and toxicologist analysis confirmed that in small, non-lethal doses, tetrodotoxin can produce narcotic-like neurological effects. The dolphins were not attacking the pufferfish for food. They were using it deliberately, cooperatively, and apparently recreationally. They took turns. They passed it around like a shared experience. The behavior required knowledge of the fish's toxin properties, precise control of handling force, and social coordination, none of which are accidental. This is not anthropomorphism. This is documented, peer-reviewed, observable cetacean behavior that implies a degree of intentionality that is genuinely uncomfortable to process. Visual note: use an animated chemistry diagram showing tetrodotoxin molecular structure with a labeled infographic of the interaction. No graphic wildlife footage, diagram only. Fact number 7. Dolphins grieve their dead. For a long time, scientists resisted attributing grief to non-human animals because grief implies an understanding of death, a permanent, irreversible loss. That understanding requires an abstract concept of time and existence that we assumed only humans possessed. Then the data started arriving. In a 2018 study published in Zoology, researchers documented 78 separate cases across 20 cetacean species of behavior scientists now classify as thanatological, behavior related to death and dying. Female dolphins were observed carrying deceased calves on their backs for days, sometimes up to 2 weeks, refusing to release them. Pods circled motionless dead companions. In one documented case in New Zealand in 2014, a bottlenose dolphin pod was observed staying with a deceased individual for over 24 hours, with multiple pod members taking turns surfacing alongside the body. A 2016 paper in the Journal of Mammalogy documented a female spinner dolphin supporting a dead calf at the surface for so long that the calf's body began to decompose. She would not leave. These are not isolated incidents. They are a pattern, a documented, reproducible pattern of behavior that, in any reasonable scientific framework, indicates awareness of death and an emotional response to it. Visual note: display a world map infographic with documented case locations marked by year and species, data visualization style, no graphic imagery. Fact number 8. Dolphins may have a form of cultural identity. This is the fact that pushes the boundary of what we are willing to accept about non-human minds. Culture, in its strictest scientific definition, means behaviors that are socially learned, locally distinct, and transmitted across generations, not encoded in DNA, not universal to the species, but specific to a community. By that rigorous definition, dolphins have culture. Multiple cultures. A landmark 2017 study published in Nature Ecology and Evolution, led by researchers from the University of Zurich and involving data from over 1,000 individual dolphins across the Shark Bay ecosystem, identified distinct behavioral communities within the same geographic area practicing different foraging strategies, different social bonding patterns, and different tool use traditions, all transmitted through social learning, not genetics. Different dolphin communities in the same ocean, with access to the same resources, made different choices about how to live. They had different traditions. And, this is the part that stopped the research team cold, the communities with richer, more complex tool-use cultures also showed measurably larger and more densely connected social networks, suggesting that cultural complexity and social complexity co-evolve in dolphins the same way anthropologists believe they co-evolved in early human societies. Let that land. The same feedback loop between culture and social brain development that scientists use to explain the evolution of human intelligence, they are finding it, right now, in dolphins. Visual note: use a network diagram infographic showing social connectivity clusters color-coded by cultural behavior group, with a split comparison panel between high-complexity and low-complexity communities, data visualization style. And that is 8 facts that should permanently change the way you think about the ocean, and about intelligence itself. Dolphins name themselves, grieve their dead, get deliberately high, pass down cultural traditions across generations, and may be running the same cognitive evolutionary engine that built the human brain. The ocean is not empty. It is full of minds. Subscribe to Moonlit Minds for daily mind-blowing facts that will change how you see the world.